Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss a critical essay, Shooting an Elephant, written by George Orwell. Now remember, the video might get just a little long for you, but it is only to do justice to this essay that we are going to discuss today. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. Now, George Orwell was a British writer and journalist. He served as a police officer in the British-controlled Burma during the early 20th century. The essay, Shooting an Elephant, is a reflection of his experiences and the ethical struggles he encountered while enforcing the policies which had been framed by the British at that time. Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell revolves around the internal conflict faced by the author as a colonial police officer in Burma. The essay delves into the themes of imperialism, moral dilemma, and the pressure to follow the expectations of the society. Now you will understand what the essay is all about in no time, but before that I thought it would be important to discuss some of these important themes which will help you to understand what the essay is all about. Now firstly, I come to imperialism. Now imagine one group of people coming to another land and saying, "We are in charge now." Orwell looks at this idea and says, "Hold on, is this fair?" He talks about how a powerful group, in this case the British, who are now in Burma, can be oppressive, torturous and mean. He questions if it is at all okay for one group to control another. That is it at all okay for the Britishers to control the Burmese people just because the British at this time are stronger? So that, my dear friends, is imperialism for you. Look at the two pictures on your screen. On one side we have a man and he is carrying the load of expectations represented by the I. The I over here represents the society. How constantly as human beings we are being observed, judged, gazed by the people in the society. On the other hand, you see the image of a girl. Now this is not at all being gender biased, but I'm just giving you an example, where on one hand, women are told to think like a man and act like a boss, but when she starts doing it, she's told, "You're so bossy." Next, when she's just going to leave and have kids, she's said to be a difficult woman. She's told to be professional, but at the same time, to be professional, she is asked to do favors to men. At the same time, when she dresses up the way she wants, she cannot do that because she is told wear heels or go home. Now this is what is the real pressure of the expectations of the society. Now picture yourself in a situation like this where you know what's right, but everyone around you expects you to do something different. That feeling of being ripped apart, you're constantly struggling. That's exactly what George Orwell faced. Orwell, our storyteller, was dealing with doing what's right according to his own beliefs versus what everyone around him expects. It was literally like a moral tug of war for him. And also at the same time, he shows how the pressure to fit in and do what's expected is even stronger when you are in a colonial setting. It's like feeling you have to follow the rules even if they don't make sense to you. Now let's see what this essay is trying to tell us. We see George Orwell describing the uneasy relationship between the British colonizers and the Burmese natives. Now because Britishers were ruling over the Burmese people, they were trying to have a lot of tension between the two. The essay also introduces the incident of an elephant rampaging through a bazaar. Orwell receives a call to handle the elephant, although he knows that the elephant is no longer a threat over there. He still feels the weight of expectations of the society, and he is also at the same time trying to see what could be the perfect way out, because he's seeing how the locals are being oppressed, and he is also at the same time having to face the gaze of the colonial masters, because remember, he was a British police officer, so he had sympathy for the locals, but at the same time he was being watched by his colonial or the British masters. Orwell at this time struggles with his inner conscience. He is stuck in a situation where he has his personal values on one hand and the expectations of his role as a colonial enforcer, as a British police officer who is on the side of the colonizer. The British are the colonizers and the Burmese people are the ones being colonized by the British. The pressure to act in a way that holds the image of imperial authority is also faced by Orwell. So what does he do? He decides to shoot the elephant against his judgment, and he succumbs to the societal pressure, because this is something he didn't want to do, but he has no other option. So this act of shooting the elephant becomes symbolic of the oppressive nature of imperialism. This is what imperialism can do to people, and it also highlights the dehumanizing impact both on the oppressor and the oppressed. Why? Because George Orwell did not want to shoot the elephant, so it was something which was a completely inhuman activity that he had to perform. And at the same time, he also tries to highlight how the oppressed people become victims of the colonial mindset of the colonizers. Now, the aftermath of shooting the elephant highlights the uselessness, the futility of imperialistic or colonizers' activities. So Orwell realizes the true nature of his role and how the entire situation is very, very absurd and strange, because it is just simply exercising power over the colonized in a colonial setting. That is what we see in this essay. The major lessons of this essay include questioning authority. In simple terms, it means don't just follow the leader blindly. If something does not feel right, it's okay to ask questions. We see Orwell wants us to think for ourselves and not just accept what people in power have to say. Next, it talks about the consequences or the results of conformity. Going along with the crowd might feel safe, but there can be bad outcomes. Orwell's story shows us why it's important to think before we just follow blindly what everyone else is doing. His own experience of going along with the expectations had consequences, so it is like a warning to be careful when you're just doing what everyone else is doing. Thirdly, there is moral integrity that is highlighted. The essay tells us to stick to what you believe is right, even if it is difficult. Don't let others push you into something that you think is wrong. Orwell wants us to keep our moral compass correct. The inner guide that tells us to do what's right is what we need to follow, even though the situation might be tough. And the essay also shows power dynamics. When one group has power over another, things get messy. Orwell's story helps us to see how being in control or being controlled can change people. The essay gives us a peek into how power can affect both the ones ruling and the ones being ruled. It's like saying, watch out, power can mess everyone involved. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.